We are back here on the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast, talking some more rookie quarterbacks on today's show and in this segment. And specifically, when I was looking into this rookie class and seeing how many rookies could actually start come week one of the regular season, it's pretty historic when you think about how many could start and how many could have started if everybody stayed healthy and everything like that. But this rookie class, I think, isn't being talked about too much in a way that they are very much set up in a way that they could be one of the better ones that we've seen in I say in a long time, but it really compares to that 2020 class with Tua, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts, and Jordan Love, and guys like that. But this quarterback class already has been making history already in this year, going back to the NFL draft in terms of just quarterbacks in this draft class because a total of 6 quarterbacks obviously were taken in that first round, which ties the NFL records for the most amount of quarterbacks taken in just the first round. It ties the 1983 rookie quarterback class that included Dan Marino, John Elway, and Jim Kelly, etc., etc. And not only that, not only does it tie that very impressive quarterback class, but also with 6 quarterbacks taken, 6 of them were taken within the first 12 picks of this year's draft, which is the fastest in NFL history that many have been taken in just the first round. You go back to that 1983 class, and 6 of them were taken in 27 picks, and this year, 6 of them were taken in just 12 picks. So it marks the fastest amount of time that amount of quarterbacks were taken in the first round, and just right now where we are in the offseason since the NFL draft happened and now where we are right now. After the second week of preseason, looking and comparing this rookie quarterback class to others along the way, it looks like I would say I'm pretty confident in saying that I think a total of 4 rookie quarterbacks could be starting right away. We already know 2 for sure. Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are guarantees. They have been named the starters. And then you look at guys like Drake May, who we just finished talking about, having a good chance of becoming the starter if that's the way the Patriots want to go. And also Bo Nix. After both of them built great momentum after the second week of preseason, Bo Nix stacking back-to-back good performances, Drake May having his first real debut and performing very well. It could be potentially, when you look at this overall class, not just the 4 of them, but then you start, hypothetically thinking about J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix. If they were also to start, this could have been the most rookie quarterbacks to start in week 1 of a rookie season if all of them were to start. But obviously that's not going to happen, right? Because J.J. McCarthy got injured and Michael Penix shouldn't be the starter, not because he's a bad player or anything like that, but based on how everything that the Falcons did this offseason, it should be Kirk starting week 1. But if Michael Penix were to start, they could have at least tied the record for the most amount of rookie quarterbacks starting in the week 1 game of the NFL regular season. The last time that amount of rookies started in week 1, you'd have to go back to 2012 when 5 rookie quarterbacks started in week 1. And I actually have those guys on here to show you the last time there was this amount of hype, this amount of attention on rookie quarterbacks potentially starting. Back to that 2012 class, you look at guys like Robert Griffin III, who started right away. Andrew Luck started right away. Ryan Tannehill, another one in that class. Russell Wilson, Brandon Weeden. All 5 of these guys make up the rookie quarterback class that made up the most amount of these rookies to start ever in an NFL Week 1 regular season game. 5 is the most amount, is the highest amount that have started, and it makes up these 5 guys. And with how historic this rookie quarterback class has already been in 2024, they had a good shot, I believe, to almost break this record if all 6 of the guys were healthy and able to start. But obviously, like I mentioned before, Michael Penix probably isn't going to start, and obviously J.J. McCarthy is out for the entire year. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see this record be broken or tied up. But I think this rookie class was very much on their way to not only making this sort of history, but also in the long run, looking at the quarterbacks and how successful they were ultimately in their NFL careers. You look at all these guys, and probably Russell Wilson is the one that stands out the most as being the most successful. Andrew Luck, everything that happened with him, retiring early. Robert Griffin III suffering with injuries. Ryan Tannehill now not really getting over the hump. And the same thing with Brandon Weeden as well. You look at this class, and I think it really gives you a sense and a feeling that it can be uber successful in terms of who we're talking about and what we could have in store. We already mentioned the four that could be starters. These are the four guys that could be starting week one. And you start to compare, at least I started to compare this class, like looking at it from a historical standpoint and how many, quarterbacks already are impressing. I think that's been the story pretty much of this entire preseason on how well and well groomed these quarterbacks are right away, just out of college. You look at Bo Nix coming in right away. It seems like he fits exactly what Sean Payton wants in a quarterback. He hasn't been named the starter or anything like that, but I think he has probably the third or the next highest probability to start, other than Caleb, who's starting. Jaden Daniels announced as a starter yesterday as well. And then you look at a guy like Drake May as well, thought to be the backup quarterback to Jacoby Brissett initially, but now he's also impressing. He could be a starter week one. We just finished talking about it. And Jaden Daniels looking very calm, very cool, controlled in his preseason games as well. And Caleb, just fitting the bill of what a number one overall pick should be. So right away, I started comparing it to other quarterback classes, not only that 2012 class in terms of how many rookies could start week one, but also just very recently looking at this 2020 class where it's looked upon as one of the more successful, prosperous quarterback classes in recent history, because you look at the guys that were drafted in 2020. We just finished talking about one of them, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow, and how successful they all are right now. You look at all of them in where they are in their careers right now. You look at all of them and how they've all been extended to massive deals. They've accounted for $1.2 billion in extended new contract money. So Justin Herbert, very successful, the face of the Chargers. Jordan Love, now the face of the Green Bay Packers. Tua, pretty much the face of the Miami Dolphins after they gave him that extension. Jalen Hurts, the same thing. That offense is basically built around his skill set. And then you have Joe Burrow as well, the face of the Cincinnati Bengals. And those guys are pretty much set up to be, overall in terms of a class, a very successful draft class. And not only that, but now you look at it and compare it to this rookie draft class, and there could be four starters in this draft class, like I mentioned, but in 2020, with how successful they were, only Joe Burrow started right off the bat. So already there, it seems like just from that comparison alone that this draft class is really set up to be one of the better ones, especially because I think it was needed to have a rookie quarterback class like this, because you look at who was drafted in 2021 and then in 2022, not looking too great right now. Obviously, drafting guys like Trevor Lawrence in that time, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis was in one of those two draft classes, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and things like that. It hasn't panned out for a lot of those quarterbacks in 2021 and in 2022. And then you look at 2023 and you have CJ Stroud basically being the most successful one out of the group, producing the best rookie year statistically in NFL history. So you kind of got it back to a level of a lot of success and prosperous, production from CJ. But in terms of an entire class, I think this one is set up very much in a great way to produce a lot of great quarterbacks and good quality starting quarterbacks for the foreseeable future. And not only that, in terms of just comparing it to that 2020 class, you could almost say that there are more expectations out of this one, almost like this rookie quarterback class was expected to see a lot of results right away, because you look at the makeup of each quarterback and what sort of their narrative is heading into the NFL. You look at Caleb being that first overall pick, looked upon as that generational talent, much like Joe Burrow was. Then you look at Jaden Daniels. He won the Heisman right away, so already considered the best quarterback in college football by winning that award. Then you look at a guy like J.J. McCarthy, won the national championship, so right away thought of as a great leader, a great quarterback to lead his team to that national championship. Same thing with Michael Penix, had a great senior season, crazy stats, made it to the national championship as well. And then you got guys like Drake May and Bo Nix also producing one or two great seasons in college. Drake May having a great year with North Carolina, maybe dipping a little bit in the last year there, but still impressing a lot of people. And then Bo Nix as well, statistically putting up great numbers at Oregon in his last year. So you could almost say that this rookie class, just based on their history, their narratives around each one of them and their story, and now how successful they've been so early on, they could right now, to me, be set up to maybe outperform that 2020 class in a way. And you look at the crazy amount of money that 2020 class got overall. All these guys, I believe, could be the next line of quarterbacks to get this contract, or get these contracts, I should say, and be paid as they should as the face of their franchises. But obviously, we're a long way away from that. And I just thought it was interesting to bring that up now, and how, crazy it is that this quarterback class, and how, looking at projections and predicting and trajectories and all that sort of stuff, how close they are, and how initially looked upon as this class as being one of the more successful ones just right away without even having touched the regular season. All of them have been making a good case for themselves, and now, obviously, like the media does, looking forward and projecting and predicting things like this. I thought it was super fascinating to look at it and see how they compare to 2020, and how much the NFL really needed, I think, a quarterback class like this, because after falling short of it in the last few years, having this influx of talent, I think, is great for the NFL. Excitement from these young players coming in, and it should produce a lot of good performances and a lot of great gains in 2024. That's why I'm so excited about it. I think that's why a lot of people are excited about it. So I wanted to bring that up, and how eerily similar it is to 2020, but also how they're almost set up to outperform them as well. But that's pretty much it on talking about rookie quarterbacks as well. But we have one more segment to talk about, with the latest news regarding the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Randy Gregory agreeing to part ways and releasing the pass rusher after just signing him this offseason. We're going to go into that just briefly here to close out the show. So stick around. We have one more topic to talk about in just a few seconds.